Yo! Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to talk about the story of Erwin Smith from Attack on Titan. Erwin Smith was the 13th commander of the Scout Regiment. Discerning, intelligent, and widely respected, Erwin was an able commander. While he cared deeply for his men, he did not hesitate to sacrifice them for the good and prosperity of mankind, and his men have proven more than willing to stake their lives at his order. Erwin developed the long-distance enemy scouting formation. Due to the uncertainty about his future, he later named Hange Zoë as his successor. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos and to never miss an update. Early life. As a child, Erwin was a curious and insightful individual who did not accept facts at face value. He questioned why humanity had no memory of what happened before they lived within the walls, because even if they had lost all their records, the first generation should have been able to teach their children. His father shared a theory with him that the king had altered humanity's memories when they first entered the walls so he could control them better. Too innocent to realize why his father would not discuss this in the classroom, Erwin shared it with the other kids in town, which resulted in his father's accidental death, arranged by military police regiment. From then on, Erwin became convinced that his father's theory had been correct. However, Erwin came to an additional conclusion on his own. The government is not interested in protecting humanity so much as their land and wealth, and that they will kill anyone who threatens that authority. When he joined the cadets, he became friends with Nile Dog and used to tell others about his father's theory and his own theory that the royal government was hiding the truth about the world. He thought that once he became a scout, he would prove it, but after he joined the Scout Regiment, he stopped talking about it instead. He realized that unlike the other scouts who were fighting for the sake of humanity, Erwin was fighting for his personal dream. Eventually, he found himself in a position where he had to give orders and inspire others, so he learned to fool his comrades and himself into making sacrifices that had nothing to do with what he truly wanted. While a squad leader, Erwin devised a long-range enemy scouting formation as a way to minimize casualties while on expedition. Erwin began implementing his strategies in his own squad when he became a commander, and over time other soldiers and the populace began to notice that his squad would take no casualties, whereas Kate Sadis would often be the only survivor of his charges. A Choice with No Regrets, Part 1. Erwin and his squad pursue Levi Ackerman, Fräulein Source, and Isabel Magnolia in the underground after they commit a heist. Levi, having been given warning that they would be after him, splits off from his friends and leads the squad on a good chase. He engages Mike Zacharias in combat with a knife before Erwin hurtles down from above to intervene. They clash and Erwin convinces Levi to surrender since his squad has already been captured. Levi drops his knife, and after they are restrained, Erwin asks a try about where they obtained their omnidirectional mobility gear and how they learn to use it. When they do not immediately answer, Mike shoves Levi's face into dirty puddle, causing Fräulein to insist that they are self-taught. Erwin finds difficult to believe, but Fräulein tells him that they had to learn in order to rise above their current living conditions, something that Erwin as a person who lives in sunlight would not understand. Hearing this, Erwin kneels down to Levi's level and introduces himself. He offers Levi a deal. If he joins the Scout Regiment, he will not be charged for his crimes. If he refuses, he and his friends will be handed over to the military police regiment, which is unlikely to treat them well. Erwin is pleased when Levi agrees to join. A Choice with No Regrets, Part 2. At a meeting with Kate Sadis, the current commander of the Scout Regiment, the other section commanders express disapproval over Erwin's recruitment of Levi, Fräulein, and Isabel, as well as his desire to take them on the next mission. Erwin understands their concerns but vouches for the former criminal's skill. Kate backs him up. The commander also believes that Erwin's new long-range scouting formation will help avoid Titans and reduce their losses. On a carriage ride back to the headquarters, Kate informs Erwin that the delayed budget for the next expedition has been approved, and Assembly member Nicholas Lobov suddenly switches his boat. Noting Erwin's lack of surprise, Kate asks if he has done something underhanded to cause this. Erwin informs him that Lobov favors a company that supplies the military force and wishes to reallocate the Scout Regiment's funding to them. He has proof of it. Fighting Titans has taught Erwin how precarious humanity's situation is, and because of that, they must not abandon their efforts to retake their world, no matter what methods they must employ. On the 23rd exterior scouting mission, the long-range scouting formation is used for the first time, but before long it begins to rain, ruining visibility, and the usefulness of the signal fades. Erwin advises Kate to narrow the formation and slow down in response to the weather. The rain prevents several of the scouts from seeing an abnormal Titan in time, and Furlan and Isabel are killed. Erwin arrives as the rain lets up to find an angry and distraught Levi standing beside the dead body of the Titan. He asks Levi if he is the only survivor and calls him rather unsightly. Still sitting, Levi attacks Erwin, saying that he will kill him. That is why he is here. In response, Erwin throws out a copy of document that Levi and his friends had been searching for and lets him to know that he is too late. Love of the man who hired him is already done for. Seeing that, Levi is beginning to emotionally shut down in the face of everything he has lost. Erwin tells him to stop before he regrets this. No one knows what results their choices will bring. The mission will continue, and Levi is coming with them. The Fall of Shiganshina Arc. In the year 845, Erwin takes part in an expedition beyond Val Maria. When the soldiers encounter a Titan, Erwin reports their distance from the Titan to get status while the scouts split up to engage the Titan. Erwin is among the soldiers who return to Shiganshina alive after the failed mission. Ilse's notebook. Notes from a Scout Regiment member. While leading the 49th Exterior Scouting mission, Erwin is confronted by Hange Zoë, who demands that they be allowed to capture Titans to use as test subjects. Recognizing the extra danger that would arise if soldiers did not engage Titans with the intent to kill, Erwin refuses Hange's proposal. When suddenly, thereafter, Hange abandons the larger expedition force to try to capture a Titan on their own, Erwin orders Levi to follow Hange and keep them out of harm's way. Following the retrieval of Ilse's Lagnar's notebook, which details Ilse's encounter with a Titan that possesses the ability to speak, Erwin approves Hange's proposal to begin capturing Titans in order to study them. The struggle for Trost Arc. Erwin leads the Scout Regiment as it walks to clear a town inside Val Maria. They discover Titans are moving north towards the Trost district of Walrose. Fearing a breach, they head to Trost district and narrowly save a trapped Eren, Armin and Mikasa after their mission to block the hole is complete. Erwin next appears when Eren recovers from his 3-day coma and is kept in a jail cell beneath the military court. He explains to Eren that his Titan powers have caused an uproar within the walls. He has taken the key to Eren's basement and asks if the secret to Titans is located in the basement, to which Eren replies that he thinks it is. Erwin then formulates a plan to use Eren's Titan form to retake Val Maria so they can investigate the basement. Eve of the Counterattack Arc. Erwin arranges the military tribunal to determine what to do with Eren Yeager, proposing to the military's premier Talis Zachary that the boy be entrusted to the Scout Regiment so that his powers can be used to reclaim Val Maria. In the middle of the trial, Eren loses his temper, prompting Levi to beat him in front of everyone to prove that he can be controlled. Seizing the opportunity, Erwin promises that he will station Eren under Levi if he is allowed to join the Scouts, ensuring that he will be kept under control. Additionally, to keep Val's civilians calm, he agrees to hand Eren over the military force if the boy proves to be a failure on his first scouting mission. Satisfied with Erwin's proposal, Zachary hands Eren over to the scouts. After the trial, Erwin and some of his officers meet with Eren privately. Erwin apologized to Eren for Levi's treatment of him before commending him for unwittingly giving them the perfect argument to convince the military to turn him over to the scouts, formally welcoming him to the Scout Regiment. After the death of Titan research subject Bean and Sonny, he tests everyone in the Scout Regiment by asking them a direct but confusing question to gauge their reaction. When he stuns everyone innocent, he begins planning the next expedition to capture the spy, guessing they have abilities similar to Eren and are intent on sabotaging the expedition. Eren later appears at the recruitment drive where the 104th Cadet Corps choose their path. He makes an impassioned plea that the Scout Regiment and Eren represent the hope of humanity, although he is very realistic in telling them that a sizable number of them will die. His speech and other factors succeed in recruiting every remaining member of the top 10 graduates, except Annie, who joins the military police brigade. The 57th Exterior Scouting Mission Arc. Erwin leads the 57th Expedition out of the Kalinate district on a mission to reach Shiganshina district and potentially uncover the secret of Eren's basement. Shortly after the Scout Regiment reaches open territory outside Walrose, he orders them into a long-range scouting formation. Despite the decimation of the formation's right flank by an abnormal Titan, Erwin continues the operation to the surprise of his soldiers. He directs them to a forest of giant trees where the central column containing the cars and the special operations squad are to follow him inside, while the rest of the formation surrounds the forest perimeter to prevent the entry of any additional Titans. Understanding that the abnormal Titan destroying his ranks is intelligent, Erwin plans to deal with it inside. Special Operations Squad leads the female Titan into Erwin's trap, where he orders the firing of the special target restraining weapon. This allows the Scout Regiment to successfully capture it. When Levi and Mike try to cut through the female Titan's hands to the nape, Erwin knows that it can selectively harden its body. Similar to what he has heard about the armored Titan, he decides the scouts do not have enough time to see if the Titan will weaken under repeated assaults and calls Casey over to prepare explosive to blow off the female Titan's hands at the wrist to avoid killing the person inside. Before that can happen, the female Titan screams and Mike alerts Erwin to multiple Titans approaching from all directions. Erwin sends the car team to intercept the first wave of Titans, but they ignore the soldiers and break through. He realizes that they are after the female Titan and orders the scouts to defend it. However, they are overwhelmed and unable to keep up. The female Titan is torn to pieces and Erwin calls his soldiers to retreat. They are going back to Kalinet. As Erwin watches the Titans devour what remains of the female Titan, he admits to Levi that he did not expect their enemy would be willing to sacrifice themselves. The steam emitting from the remains of the female Titan causes him to think of the colossal Titan, which had also vanished in a cloud of steam. Before Levi can call back his team, Erwin tells him to refill the gas and blades. Hange questions the order while they ride out of the forest because they cannot spare the time, and Erwin explains that though the female Titan has been eaten, he cannot say that the same for the person inside. He expects that their enemy has regained human form and is now able to move around. If they also equip omnidirectional mobility gear, then they are likely wearing the Scout Regiment uniform and are camouflaged as a fellow soldier. Erwin thinks it was a mistake to have based their assumption of the female Titan's abilities on Irene, who is a complete novice when it comes to his power. On the way back to the Kalinet, Erwin receives a report from a peer on the number of deceased soldiers whose bodies the regiment was unable to retrieve. Erwin orders that they be listed as missing in action, prompting the number of dead because of the expedition failure. Erwin is summoned to the capital to hand over Irene. Assault on Stohe's Arc. Before they depart for the capital, Armin shares his suspicion with Erwin that Annie Leonhardt is the female Titan, planning to capture her when they pass through Stohe's district en route to capital. Erwin has Jean Christine masquerade as Irene, while Irene, Armin, and Mikasa lure Annie into a trap. When their plan forces Annie to transform in the middle of Stohe's, Erwin involves Nile Dog to prepare his troops and to assume that a Titan has appeared inside of the district. He then instructs Jean, who has set his disguise, to equip Odium gear and help with the capture. A scout soldier arrives with Odium gear for Erwin himself, and as he equips it, Erwin orders all the soldiers present to follow him to assist in Titan's capture. However, he is stopped at gunpoint by Nile, who accuses Erwin of the treason. As the two men stand off, Nile receives a report of civilian casualties caused by the combat, angering him further. Erwin freely admits that he expected casualties to arise from his plans, explaining that he was prepared to make sacrifices to lead humanity to victory. Nile threatens to execute Erwin for his action, but Erwin tells him that if he does, then he will have to take Erwin's place in leading the capture operation. Swayed by Erwin's words, Nile orders that Erwin be detained before ordering his own troops to begin evacuating civilians. After civilians have been evacuated, Erwin accompanies Nile's squad as they go to observe the end of Erwin and Annie's battle at the edge of the district. Although the others take cover from debris from the battle, Erwin elects to watch the entire capture to its end. She is eventually apprehended and Erwin goes into an emergency meeting held to sort out the day's events. He manages to convince the council that despite the expedition failure and subsequent death of some civilians in the inner city, they finally catch the female Titan successfully, and this indicates that there must be more of her kind hiding among them. And that's all for today's video. That is part 1 of the story of Erwin Smith, the 13th commander of the Scout Regiment from Attack on Titan. Part 2 will be coming out soon, which will cover all the remaining stories of Erwin Smith. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to support us by liking this video and subscribing our channel, and also be sure to ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Check out these other amazing videos as well. Thanks for watching. Bye bye and take care.